Hello everyone, my name is Wade DeWalby, and welcome back to another live stream. Today we'll be talking about Mars 2020 or the Providence rover. To be precise, the Providence rover, well, as we call it, it's designed to, you know, go on Mars and do things that, you know, uh, so I decided to um, make a stream. Now I have actually made Wolf Coyote thing for a while, and I decided to make a stream about it. I guess red. Sorry, I have to check on the Discord for just a bit. Just to fix these things out. Um, so, what is the purpose of having what is Wolf Coyote? First of all, Wolf Coyote is a multi mission system. I don't know what I should fully call it, but these are the two types of balloons. Yeah, a balloon on Mars. Now we have tried balloons on Venus. Um, but because Venus has a very thick atmosphere of carbon dioxide, it's very easy to put anything balloon or anything like that. However, the heat of it is extreme. But on Mars, there's a lot of problems. The atmosphere is very thin, not as thin as, well, let's just say there's no oxygen. There's carbon dioxide again, and there's a little bit more elements, but that's the most of the atmosphere. On Earth, we have 70% of nitrogen and something other than oxygen. Now, it doesn't mean that our entire Earth is made out of pure nitrogen. It's not. If you out there saying, "Oh my God, I've been lied to all this time," that thinking that Earth we used to use oxygen, and you're correct. We do have oxygen. As you can see, I'm still breathing, which is obviously a stupid question into the making because Earth actually has. Why is it all sound cold? So nitrogen is the most. I don't know where it is in our atmosphere, but it is pretty much the entire atmosphere, I think. People can still make liquid nitrogen. So that means that the whole entire atmosphere, I don't know if it is the upper atmosphere of Earth has thick nitrogen, or is it just all of it? So that's a question that I need some answers because I don't know if it's, like that. I do know that if you look at the auroras, you can tell what kind of gases they are in the poles. The aurora come from, well, I'm sorry I have to I know it's a Mars topic, but I just want to get this out. If you watch the movie The Core, you probably know about the magnetic field and how it works. I did not know this until later on. And I knew a lot of things because even though it was not popular movie, it really did actually taught me a lot about how does magnetic field work. It really gave me a good idea. So we have the inner core, the outer core. The outer core, I thought was not famous, but now it's famous because it's actually the primary objective to spin. It spins miles per hour faster. We spin, the whole ground spins. Everything moves below your feet. Or paws if you're an athro. Whatever your creature you are, if you're a furry. But so the ground is moving, but you can't see it. I'm moving, you're moving, everything's moving. You can't see it. It's because it's moving very slowly. I'm not sure this keyboard's moving right now or this mouse, but surely, obviously, it's not going to move because it's heavier, because we have gravity. Gravity is pulling us down. I thought the core of the Earth was the magnetic thing. And then I realized that everywhere has gravity, wherever has mass. I have gravity. This has gravity. It depends on the mass of how heavy it is. If you have like an anvil that possibly, if you play Universe Sandbox 2, you had a ball and you have a ball, obviously they sort of collide to each other, make a big ball. if you have like, a tennis ball, they still can orbit each other. But we're talking about Mars atmosphere. I know I was talking about the aurora, the magnetic field. I skipped a lot of stuff because how my autism goes into different directions, but I gotta stay on topic. So let's just ignore that. I'll probably talk about that later. You probably know. All right, so wolf coyote. Okay, just stick on the topic, Wade. So wolf coyote. So there are two balloons. A wolf and coyote are a reference to Opportunity and Spirit, the two rovers that went on Mars in 2003. Well, it was launched in 2003. 2003, I was actually born at 2001, January 15th. So they were launched, I don't know what month it was, but they were launched, I think, a week prior to it. I'm not sure. But so Spirit was first, then Opportunity. And they were launched on a Delta rocket, not Atlas. I kind of get this mixed up. It was a Delta rocket. And it finally arrived at Mars in 2004, landed on Mars. Both of them did. Opportunity is a more famous one. Keep an eye on that one. But I've talked about that, and you may even find a lot of videos of Opportunity rover and Spirit. Go check out the internet or check out my playlist. Not in the description. Just check it on my, channel. Just click Wade the Wallaby. If you just know about YouTube, you see that it says Wade the Wallaby. Click that. All right, and then you will find. But don't click it now because the video is going to go away. You probably did. So, if you want more of me, put that bell. But if you're not signed in, well, then, I guess you'll just have to make sure that I'm here. But whatever, we're not talking about YouTube. We're talking about Mars. It's really cold. So I've talked about this at work. There's no changes. Maybe they are, but I did add. I'm actually not too sure of a werewolf spaceplane launch. If you don't know what it is, just look at my other videos. But if you know what the werewolf spaceplane is in my possession, you probably know what I'm talking about. The werewolf spaceplane and the Atlas rocket, the Atlas, there are two. So basically, the purpose for the launch of Wolf, Coyote, Fox, Dingo, and the two, actually three. I added another one. I removed the, of course, the Chicago lander because it wasn't necessary to basically do that. It was actually going to be a upper stage, but then I realized that the two orbiters, or I should say the two Mars. Okay, let me just go back to launch. Let's do not werewolf spaceplane. Let's do the classic Atlas rocket with no boosters. So the spacecraft is going to be small. It's going to be, on the Atlas rocket, and it's going to launch. I don't know what year, but maybe in the future because I'm still young, or somebody will actually help me do it, but I doubt that. And eventually it's going to go to, first it will launch, Centaur up the stage, gets into orbit, goes to a trans-Mars ejection and insertion, never mind, and whatever protection, whatever it is, it's going to stop. And they added a kick stage. Now, normally you don't add a kick stage into a Centaur rocket, but whatever. I just want to have it extra. I got to have it extra. And this upper stage or kick stage is not the star kick stage, they call it, or Stardate, whatever they call it. This is going to be a solid fuel engine with a reusable space probe. Yes, it's going to have solar panels, a communications. It's going to have reaction wheels, maybe even gyroscope. And even RCS thrusters. It's going to have its own propellant, but it's going to be a solid fuel engine. So once it's there, it's going to run out of fuel, but it's going to have its own body. It's going to have its own transmitter. So that's the kick stage. Once the Centaur rocket reaches an orbit, the kick stage will get into it. The Centaur will reverse the orbit itself to minimize junk. And it has to be everything cannot be waste of materials. It's all going to be probe, making sure that there's not useless parts on the spacecraft to minimize weight. So there's a lot of things that most probes do is that they have one purpose, like a fairing or something, that they only do one thing. It doesn't do anything else. They can't retract so I want to do something that's reusable and useful. Not one thing. Not one thing. Maybe some explosive bolts once the spacecraft, detaches this explosive bolts, because I don't want. I mean, it's not going to redock each other, because why would you need it? Maybe the kick stage can still follow it back to Mars. So the kick stage is going to go and have a encounter with Mars, and it's like maybe it's not going to detach, but I guess it will stick around. Maybe it will detach later. I'm not sure, but once it's there, it will detach eventually. Shut up, and it's gonna go. It's gonna have another stage called, well, I call it the Mars probe. It's basically just the orbiter rocket. What it does, it's a surface rocket, and it will have its own probe. It's the same thing. Instead, it uses a liquid fuel engine. It's not going to use a soft fuel. It's going to use a throttleable, shut-off engine. Just a, engine that is throttleable, and it has RCS thrusters, gimbal, reaction wheels, all the normal things. And it actually is going to have solar panels that will extend and retract. And, or maybe it's going to be like a round, but it's actually going to have, this might sound interesting. Most probes or rovers would have an arm that would basically do experiments. It's going to have two arms. I know it sounds silly, but I really wanted moving parts on the journey, because NASA or Jet Propulsion Laboratory, of all the probes, they don't have anything that moves on the probe when they go into hyperspace. Or, well, once it reaches Mars, I want something that has action, that people would like to see when it's on its way. And of course, moving its arm, doing experiments. I guess to show kids what happens when you put a toy into space, because plastic, polymers, yeah, don't put Legos. It's not going to work. It's just going to melt. I don't know. So to show kids of how dangerous it is in space. I don't know why, but I'm not going to make this little kitty channel. No, I'm not. No, never. No. Only 13 people can watch this. I'm not going to let any little kitties trying to watch it, because it's ridiculous with YouTube. Oh, okay. So let's just get back onto track. You have no idea probably what I'm trying to explain, but I've showed you images of it. So yeah, it's there. So Wolf Coyote, you know what? I'm actually going to skip all that and move on to the primary mission of Wolf Coyote. Now, Wolf Coyote, if you know about the other, now, I don't know what to do with the crab or dingo lander, but for some reason, I always want to figure out if I remove the fairing or just keep it on. I just want to keep it on, because I remember I have to have nothing cannot be, I know it would make extra weight, but I don't want nothing to be useless. It would have landing legs, retro rockets, and it would be protected in the fairing from dust in, winds and dust storms. And it could extend out solar panels and retract, and you'd be close and safe. There will be an arm, but I'm not sure where. The parachute is actually going to stick by on it, so you can see if it does move. And the primary mission, hence Wolf Coyote, when the Fox lander is aka the heat shield, when the heat shield, because I realized reason why I want the heat shield to survive its landing, these thrusters are going to be on the bottom. There's going to be protective plating on the engines, and once that happens, the plating will detach, or it will become a landing leg and extend outwards. Now, there's going to be 3 primary systems to make sure this works. I don't want to act like what happened to Schiaparelli. It's not going to think that already landed. It will make sure. They will have 3 telemetry data. 3, not 2, 3, to make sure that if one fails, the other ones, like the one that would still be turned off, but if the other one fails, it's like, I don't know what to do. So the other one will take care of it. And if that one fails, and if all that fails, then hey, we already tried. We already put 3 If it does fail on the first attempt when testing, why not? Put 10 telemetry data to make extra weight. Why not? But 3 will be primary. But if it won't work, we'll put 5. And eventually we'll put 10, but that would just be expensive. Telemetry data, it will basically have everything will be make sure that, this thing works. Now, obviously, the engines will be 3, but I probably would have to make, in case if one engine doesn't work, the 2 ones will actually be gimbaled. I don't know if this is going to work, but make sure that everything will be possible to land this shield. Now, if it does fail, there will be other probes that will survive, but that would just be sad because, we just lost a prey. I don't care if the Dingo Lander fails. That's just because, why not? The primary mission is to make sure that Foxlander lands safely. Foxlander is the point of the mission. It will carry Wolf Coyote balloon probes. Now, the probe is going to be like this size. There are 2 of them. They're small. But the balloon is going to be massive because of how thin the air is on Mars. It's gonna eventually expand once it reaches up. It's only going to reach 100 feet high. Only 100 feet. That's not that high. Not like mild. Because the air is so thin, I had to make it 100 feet. Closer enough to the surface to take pictures and high enough to avoid mountains. Now, it's not going to go to like Olympus Mons or of the other mountains. They're at least above, I should say, minimum area where the atmosphere will be at that point. So it's not going to go by, since there's no water, it's going to be used in, of course, surface area. If it does have it could possibly go like an elevation of 50 feet, above, until it will have sensors to detect to avoid it. There's wind on Mars, so it's going to use fins, both of them. Now, there are 2 different ones. They're different varieties. Wolf is going to go look for terrain. So Wolf is going to look for like maybe terrain that's interesting, like water features that used to be there. Now, obviously, you have the Ingenuity helicopter from the Mars 22 rover or Providence, but the balloon can stay up there for years instead of a little puny helicopter. Well, I'm not going to say puny. It's a really cool helicopter. I'm not going to lie. Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I'm sorry I insulted you and NASA, but it's good. It's good. I really like it. I like how it's on the belly of it. I was like, is it going to, like, on the side? I'm so happy they changed the, I like how it folds out. There's one video I liked, on there. And my mom, for some reason, was like, what are you talking about? I never heard of you. I told you many times about this probe, the rover. Now, Wolf Coyote is not going to have a rover. It's going to have balloons. Now, the experiments on, I should say, what is it called? Yeah, Foxlander. So Foxlanders, actually, my early concepts were actually going to be the first computer on Mars, playing Team Fortress 2 or any Steam game on Mars. Until obviously there's delay, but I mean, hey, you still connect to the internet. 14-minute delay, that's a long time. It'd be like you playing a match, and because in Team Fortress 2, there will be only like 4-minute match. It would be already over before you even play. So people are to play on a computer here, transmitting everything on Mars. Be interesting of how multiplayer will work when you're having a colony on Mars. But I'm pretty sure that Steam will have their own type server. I mean, all the data that's updated from Earth can be transmitted for 14 minutes. So all the data will be called Steam Mars or Google Mars, to let people know that this is Mars and only people colony can use it. So yeah, that'd be cool. So any companies that are there, have their own company, they will have their signature and their bars saying it to people around on Earth to say, yada yada. So people are like, watching Twitter, we call Mars Twitter, but still, since of course you could send stuff still back to Earth. And it also can be set. Maybe there'll be a setting on there. So do you want to send it on Earth? Do you want to send it from Earth the moon or Mars. I don't know. Maybe in the future we'll have it, but that's a good idea for companies. Elon Musk, you have to make sure you plan that first, since you have that Starlink thing. What? Oh, yeah, you're not even here watching me, Elon Musk. You're just trying to make some rockets, and I'm like, yeah, I love you. No, just the other love you, not the gay way. No, never. No, that's weird. Elon Musk, you're amazing. You're a good guy. All right, out of the way. So the Fox Lander is going to actually be very small. It was used to be oval, but I realized because it was oval, it was going to be shaped where the wearable space plane to be easily stowed. Until I realized I can make a sphere because to minimize the cargo bay doors. That's why, because a wearable space plane will have cargo bay doors and replaced with crew members, because this is going to be a airplane type thing. It's going to be like a Boeing plane that's going to go to the moon instead of like flying to destinations. Yeah, it's going to be like that. So Wolf Coyote. Oh wait, Wolf will look for terrain. Forgot to talk about this topic. Coyote is going to look for spacecraft. It's going to look for places that we missed. It's going to look for, first, it's actually going to try to find the Mars Polar Lander. The Mars Polar Lander, since I loved that little probe, even though it was a big failure. And it's going to try to look for it. And if it can't find it, it will try to find it since it's actually closer. It's going to have a camera on the bottom and the side, navigation camera. Bottom will be called the terrain camera. Now, Wolf is going to be designed for terrain. Coyote is designed for looking at objects that are made from man. It may look for other terrain and stuff to navigate, but it's going to only prioritize for the flow of Mars. It's going to have solar energy. Forgot to tell about the energy. It's going to use solar energy. The antenna is actually going to be in the balloon, on the balloon. And it's going to be in the middle, and it's going to be, because, it's going to be a wire. It's just, yeah. I mean, it's going to be long term, right? It's going to be a hardened balloon. It's going to be more tougher, but lighter. But I don't know what kind of material. It's not going to be rubber. If it was rubber, then we probably thought there's organics on Mars. So that's why there has to be no organics on Mars. Anything that's organic, like wood, rubber, sweet tea, plastics, I don't know. Plastics melt pretty fast. I mean, steel is fine. Steel, titanium, better. Anything that is like, graphite is heavy but very strong and heat resistant. I learned from Scott Manley that the space shuttle used graphite on the front, for the places that have a lot of heat, such as the wing and the nose of the space shuttle. And that's why you see that. That's graphite right there. It's very soft. It's very heat resistant, and the rest of it is just the blankets on the top, and the bottom is carbon. That's what happened to Columbia, and stuff. But yeah, that's the space shuttle, which tiles. That's not what happened to the Challenger disaster. That was a solid rocket booster detaching improperly and burning itself from the decoupler. So yeah, that's basically what happened. You're getting dusty, buddy. I need to dust you. That's my skin. It sounds weird. So yeah, I mean, Wolf Coyote is interesting. So what is the downside and good side? So the title is saying, versus. So we do have Mars 2020 rover. Now it's a rover, but we're looking at the helicopter. What are its advantages? Well, the helicopter can fly faster, and it can go high or low at altitudes. It can actually go faster and move around faster. But if we use power, it has to use power to get up and down. The more power you use, the more higher you go, the more power you use. I've used your drum before, so the more power you use, the more energy you use. Until you have a hover, then you use less energy, but you're still using energy for it to stay above. But it's going to use less because, remember, the gravity is low. Yeah, it's not going to be on Earth, which, it's going to be more lighter. And it's thin, so Yeah. But what wolf coyote does is they can stay above 100 feet above the terrain, at least. That's actually going to be the standard, but staying above where the atmosphere is. And it's going to stay above permanently, but it cannot go down or up more, but it will still have maybe years of staying up there. And it will possibly, well, the downside is it might get dusty because it is very slow and it will have to go by the flow of the wind. So it's going to have to use fins, or it could use a special engine that's going to use a little bit of carbon dioxide. I know that sounds weird, to little boost. It's going to be just barely. It's going to be like a little jet engine. It's like a jet engine slash fan blade. It's going to be like a turboprop, just very small little fan. Instead, it's going to have more air. It's going to pressurize the air. But because there's no fuel, it's not going to be like a jet engine. It's not going to be, because jet fuel, it consumes oxygen and jet fuel. So that's what typical jet liner uses. Like a 747 uses a big jet engine, and it uses, intake air. The higher you go, the less density air. So that's why, but it can still use a little bit of energy, unless if you're the SR-71 Blackbird, which it consumes a bunch of air and gets as much air as possible. It's amazing. It's amazing. I even have a model right here of the SR-71 Blackbird. It's amazing. Amazing airplane. It's just crazy of how fast it goes. It goes like Mach 3. It's just amazing. Until he was retired, but I've seen them in real life, not flown, but I've seen them in museums. Boy, they're amazing. That's the entire material. It's made out of titanium. So strong and lightweight, but expensive. But hey, it's the United States Air Force. They can, but it's not as expensive as the Spirit bomber or the B something, but it's nicknamed the Spirit, but I call it that way because, So so we'll kind of, for probes, take a visit to Opportunity or Spirit to check what it looks like, and maybe the Curiosity rover, even maybe the Mars 2020 rover, maybe to see in case if it does crash, we can look at what happened to it. But actually, that will actually happen later on. So this mission is actually going to be years later, until maybe 2030 or 2031. No, wait, planning and stuff. I'm guessing 2040. 2040 will probably be the launch. It's longer, and I am expecting to have my wearable space plane, at least 2030. At 2030, it's gonna be a long time, but I'm not sure. But if it doesn't work, I'll extend it outwards and 60. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of years. I still be alive. I mean, I have until I'll be 100 in 2100, so 2100. Yeah, Star Trek time. Actually, I think it's like 22,000. But hey, what do you want to know? 100 years. It's a long time. But 2,000 years. Are you saying 1,000 years? Yeah. If you watch that movie Nausicaa, which is actually apparently from the 1980s, I did not know that. I thought that was in the 21st century, but it was fun. It's like an anime Japanese. It is a Japanese movie, and I say that I don't like anime, but it's actually pretty good. Like Spirited Away, same person that made it. You probably heard of Spirited Away. For some reason, it was a big hit. That's what actually made things better, because I don't know much about it because I only see at the beginning of it a lot and not the end. I only saw the end once. Due to my autism, I always flip around, and I never knew the conclusion of what happened to those people. I gotta watch that again. I want to finish the whole thing. It's pretty long. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Mars. What am I doing? I guess I gave up. But hey, whatever. there's no changes of the Mars. Yeah, so um now I do have a alternative mission. Now it is going to be still the same, but it might be a bit earlier. Cheap. It will be very cheap launch. It will be called the Mars Small Lander Program, or I should say, it's going to be a demonstration to see how small you can make a probe to land on Mars successfully. And I actually told you guys about this, and you have no ideas. Maybe you can talk to me on Discord and show me your artwork or something like that. I will appreciate that. Here are the rules. You can use a parachute, but you cannot use airbags. You cannot. Here's a little bit of tips. If you're an artist and you don't know much about space or landers or anything like that, here's some advice. The probe has to be at least this big, or at least, let's say, actually maybe a full hold on. No, we gotta be smaller. We gotta be way smaller. It's almost the same size as the probes that went to Mars with the Mars Polar Lander called Deep Space 2 probes, and they were about this big, I think, about this big, quarter, so about this big, because she was holding this like this basically, and had a little antenna, and yeah, basically they had no parachutes. This time we're going to use parachutes and rockets. You can use rockets, but they have to be throttleable, but you can use solid fuel. It must use less detachment parts, like the heat shield you could even use titanium instead of, heat shield like ablator. You could use, because titanium or graphite. Graphite's heavy, but hey, graphite heat shield, strong, heavy, soft, actually graphite might be cheaper than, but I mean, since it's small, you can use titanium. Strong, lightweight, maybe it could survive more. If it does hit the ground too hard, surely it should survive. Might get dent, but hey, as long as it still talks to us 100%, successful mission. So parachute antenna can be in many ways. It could be extended antenna, or it could be you can have any type of antenna, but it has to be, you can have any shape. It cannot be a cylinder without any soft bottom. It has to be it cannot be pointy. It has to be somewhere like this, but more curved, like a sphere, but like cut off. But it cannot be as a real sphere. It cannot be like really a sphere bottom. It has to be soft, like smooth bottom. It has to be very smooth bottom. And it could be made titanium, maybe stainless steel. Hey, make it kind of shiny, heavy lander, shiny and beautiful and strong, heat resistant, stainless steel, make it shiny and, or you could use titanium. If you want to go to the expensive part, if you have the budget, use titanium. I have titanium everywhere. Well, titanium spoon, very strong, but I bet you could bend it because of how thin it is, but hey, I'm not like really strong, but if you had much force, you can bend it by a bending machine if you had like a solid titanium, but titanium is really light and strong. It seems to be heavy, but maybe it's just me. Actually, if you have I don't think those are forks. Forks and spoons, I don't think they're made out of steel, but they're reflective material, but I don't know. I don't think they make them, silverware, like silver. Yeah, a werewolf can definitely touch it because I don't think it's, silver. Oh, wait, hold on. Silver is actually not magnetic. Silver is silver. Gold, silver, they're both really good conduct, but they're expensive. Silver, it's like, how would you buy a bullet for killing a werewolf? It'd be like every single 6 if you're using a revolver. Silver is expensive. It really is. Gold foiling is actually cheap. It's a little expensive, but you could use gold foiling for your spacecraft. It's very heat resistant, especially when it's, around in areas and environments. You can have it many ways as long as it's small and lightweight and stuff. It can be heavy, but not too heavy, not heavy on purpose. The experiments, you can have in experiments a temperature, a radiation detector, a size monitor. Yeah, you can, since it's small, you can have a lot of power. If you have a big solar panel that extend outwards, you can have a ton of power, and you can have a bunch of batteries inside. I don't know how big, but you can still. I mean, it would be a cute little problem. I know this might be more space junk on the surface, but hey, it's cute. It's simple. Or you can have a cluster of them, but I'd rather stick with one for demonstration. But hey, cheap in case if it does fail, you don't have a lot of money that's wasted. And yeah, you can have a little bit of like a reaction wheels or something. No, wait, a gimbal. No, not gimbal. Hold on, a gyroscope. But you might use a lot more power because a gyroscope has to be constantly on. It spins and stuff. I don't have a gyroscope, but if you have a toy gyroscope, that's exactly what you need. Instead, it uses electricity. Pretty much a lot of spacecraft have that. It's very useful. You can rotate around. It's powerful. You can keep your spacecraft very steady. Or you can use the inverse magnetic field, but I've learned that from Scott Manley when he did that. What Kerbal Spacecraft doesn't teach you about reaction wheels, because reaction wheels and Kerbal are powerful. It's like, just so powerful. You can do that, in 2D. I've tried, using wheels and simple rockets, not two, but using wheels, you can rotate a little bit. Instead, it is reversed with the autopilot. And yeah, it's very hard to get, into a stable orbit but you can still use it for rotation. Instead, you can use wheels and you can rotate around. But yeah, I mean, it's still the same principle, rotating around, use reaction wheels. A lot of space telescope use reaction wheels. The Hubble uses it. Kepler uses it. But yeah, reaction wheels are weaker, but they can be powerful. The International Space Station uses gyroscopes, and there are 4 of them. They seem like they're in one direction. It seems like, I wonder if they actually do turn. I don't know, but it's, it actually is, if you see that, it's there. It's actually in the middle part where the strut is, where the solar panels are. It's actually there and actually does hold it, I think. And it keeps the International Space Station at the orientation. Cupola module down, making sure that docking port facing that. I don't know which way it does face from its orbit, but it does stay at the orientation. Or it could use its RCS thrusters. But still, it'd be very encumbersome because a big station like that would wobble around. Maybe because I play Kerbal and it just, and you have a station. There's a bunch of stuff that's, sticks out and it gets very, unless you use auto strat. Yeah. Really amazing. You should try it. Auto strat. You don't have to use those. It's not a mod I don't have. It came with the game. I had Kerbal since 2012. No, I had it since 2014 or 2015. No, it was 2014. Oh wait, Kerbal came out 2011. So I okay. Mars, So yeah, if you have any ideas, the rules, yeah, very much. But if you don't follow, I mean, the rules will help you. If you're saying that rules sucks, rules sometimes don't suck. Because if you say that rules do suck, you're gonna get in trouble from YouTube or from the government or from the police. And you're saying that rules stupid, and that means that you don't care. So you're gonna get yourself in trouble a lot. And probably get your privileges taken away, like what happened to me. Have I been in jail? No, I almost did, but that was actually because I don't care if my mom says I'm not allowed to talk about. I can talk about whatever I want to. Wait, what happened? Sorry, I was just looking at something. So that seems to be it. If you have any questions, comment below. If you want suggestions, if you want something newer, but to be honest with you, I will answer your questions as fast as I can. Maybe in an hour in case if I do fall asleep because it's actually getting late. So I'll be at the time. I have I can find cooking over, and stuff. Happy stuff. Um, if you do like it, then subscribe. But if you don't want to, I just don't like when people always have to put the subscribe button, even though you probably have subscribed. It kind of gets annoying. So yeah, I've seen a lot of videos about that. So that's why I don't say subscribe because you probably have, and you probably know what to do if you're a professional YouTuber. If you are, you probably subscribed to me already. And of course, I've seen people like the video, so you don't have to do it. But if you really do, if you don't like it, then dislike it. But if you liked it, like if you do not like it or like it, you don't have to like it or dislike it. You could just do nothing and just watch and enjoy, my beautiful face. Yeah, that didn't sound right. No, it did not. No, it did not. It did not. I do watch my own videos or streams, so I do know what to act and actually do what I need to do when I'm talking to you. I've learned a lot of mistakes that I made, and I do fix them. Not like getting in trouble. No, that was just because I was OBS and stuff. Learning the mistakes I do and helping myself. This is not my early things. I've been through this a lot, and it's getting better. It seems like I should have actually had all this stuff since 2015. I never had this amazing camera, which a lot of people use, 1080p or something like that. High resolution, trust me about it. It's amazing, isn't it? I know. If you got, make sure to click that gear thing, and that's where you get it. In case if you have good Wi-Fi like I do. Why do I sound like you're probably saying, you're being jealous there or something. You sound like somebody that has a lot. Oh my God. I'm sorry. If you had any problems in your lifetime, I probably kind of feel sorry because I do, there's a lot of people out there that just don't have enough money or even have a good house or something. And it's just, kind of depressing when you look at that. As when my mom says, you good for nothing. No, that's all right. My mom says, if you think that you don't like everything that I give you, I think you should know that a lot of people don't have this stuff because I'm a spoiled brat. What am I doing? Oh no, my mess. I'm probably wore it off. Don't talk about your mess and you're going to get yourself. Shut up, Mom. It's my stream. Well, and you're going to learn next time. Oh, yeah. Don't you think you should talk about Mars? It's the topic, right? But at least you did the part when you said verses, but you still didn't finish that. You got off topic as usual. Okay, fine. It's getting cold again. I guess because the air comes up, because there's a vent, but it seems like the air comes behind me. But I know that there is a inlet, not vent, but the air goes in there. That's the biggest one. There's one down there. There's a air duct. Air. The air comes out from there, and yeah. I don't know why am I talking about this. There's down there. Basement does that. You can't see the pipes. At Nee's house, you can actually see, or AKA Grandma's house, but basement. Yeah. What am I talking about? Mars. That's a gay. What is it? Like everything seems to look gay for you? Not everything. Hold on, sit those goddamn. I'll be right back. Wait, what? It's them? Why is that van still there? They left and they come back. I'm sorry. other neighbors. Okay, sorry, I had to bring it up. I'm really sorry about that. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm really sorry. My computer's having aneurysm every time I open up the camera, so I'm already done with the thing, so that's why I'm losing it. I'm losing it, so that's why. Change colors. Ooh. How fascinating it is. Looks like you're from Mars. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, whatever. I can be on Mars wherever I want to. That sounds a bit powerful. Stop clicking. Oh, I'll click with. Oh, okay, that sounds weird. A lot of things I say seem a lot weird, which they are. Kind of uncomfortable saying. Oh, man. People are creepy. I've seen memes and stuff of creepy people on YouTube. And you know what the ones we're talking about. Man, there was some creepy stuff. But I don't watch that stuff. I never do because YouTube gives my recommendations of, science and Team Fortress 2 or anything games. Go check out my Discord. I should say link in the description. Who's yelling, huh? Who's yelling out there? Huh? Who's yelling? I don't know who it is. Should I be a voice actor? I think I should. What are you gonna be when you grow up? I wanna be. I wanna go to the moon. Why wait? Oh no! I got my ass kicked on my. Ugh. All right, never mind. Okay, this is stupid. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. I probably said that earlier. I should have said it now, but this is it, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream or video, depends on it. But au revoir. Bye. I don't know what bye is in German, but I'll probably figure it out. You don't have to say in the comments. I'll probably figure it out. So yeah, adios. I have no idea, but whatever. Goodbye. Okay, stop streaming.